Welcome everyone. I wanted to do a quick rant video about one thing that I heard Charles say in a previous AMA, and then he also said it on the Cardano Effect podcast, episode 24. If you haven't watched that, you should check it out. It's basically talking about what IOHK is doing in Ethiopia, and I find it fascinating because everything that they're doing globally in various different countries inadvertently has an effect on everyone within this ecosystem, because this whole system is so interconnected. If you look at the current fiat system, what maybe one person does, it doesn't really have much of an influence on the next person. But when you have a blockchain that has a finite supply and transactions are all processed within the same blocks, I mean, someone could be transacting ADA in Ethiopia and someone could be transacting ADA in Australia, and they could be doing it at the same time, and it could be going on the same block. Everything is so interconnected, which is great to see. But one of the most important things that I got from that particular podcast was that IOHK has been planting seeds for a long time. John O'Connor has been in Ethiopia, I believe, a year now, and he has really been working on partnerships, strategic partnerships, working with the government. If you look at the Ministry of Innovation, Technology and Innovation in Ethiopia, the guy who runs that is very high up, and John has a personal connection with him. And basically what I'd like to say is that Charles says that there are 106 million people in Ethiopia, and there are certain blockchain solutions that this country is searching for. And when they're running their projects, when the government wants a certain blockchain solution for a particular project, who do you think they're going to call? Do you think they're going to call some random cryptocurrency that hasn't put the work in? Or do you think they're going to talk to IOHK, who has already run a successful Haskell course in Ethiopia with 19 Ethiopians and 4 Ugandan students? They've been in the country for a year. You think they're going to call another random company? It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Like Charles was saying, that there is not a lot of blockchain competitors in this space. And I think he mentioned Stellar was making roads in Africa as well, but I don't think they're doing it to the same degree as what IOHK is doing. So a lot of these other cryptocurrency projects, they're saying they're going to offer solutions to the unbanked. They're saying they're going to offer solutions to people that are living in developing countries. But it's one thing to say it, and it's another thing to do it. The next thing, you need governmental support. You need the support of the people in order to get these protocols moving forward. You can't just say, oh, I'm just going to implement it today and everyone's going to be forced to change. No, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen like that. And I see a lot in the Telegram group, and people assume that since Ethiopia is a developing country, how does this affect me? Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people out there that are just concerned about the value of their ADA and whether that value of their ADA will go up. Well, to address those concerns, if you ever looked at the staking calculator, you could clearly see that the number of transactions in each epoch is directly proportional to the amount of staking rewards that you receive. So thinking that transactions that are taking place halfway across the world are not going to affect you directly, then you probably don't understand what Cardano is trying to do. Charles says that the Ethiopian government has looked towards a certain blockchain solution to incorporate all 106 million people into some kind of identity registry. So put all their identity in the blockchain so they'll be able to pay their bills and transact and do various different things to make sure that they're interconnected and money gets from party A to party B with minimal fees and limited access to middlemen. And I found this particularly interesting because personally, I lived in Mississippi for 2 years. 2 years. If you're not familiar with Mississippi, it's a state in the United States. It's in the South, and Mississippi doesn't have a lot of money at all. And the way I would pay my electric bill and my water bill, I had to manually write a check and drop it off at City Hall. And City Hall was only open from, 9 to 5 or 9 to 4. And if you did not pay your electric bill or your water bill to City Hall, if you didn't write that check and you didn't give it to that person during the working hours, your power and your electricity were cut off. The reason why I put this is, think about blockchain solutions for simple things like this. So you could pay electronically or digitally and access what you need, access the services, access the products that you need in a quick and efficient manner. And it doesn't just happen halfway across the world. It happens right here too. It happens in developed countries. There are a lot of places that the infrastructure is just not there. It's just not there. So Ethiopia is looking to put 106 million people on this blockchain identity system, blockchain identity registry system. And when they solicit that government contract, IOHK will be bidding. And think about the number of transactions that are going to be going through. Think about the number of transactions. It's going to be constant. Blocks are going to be constantly filled with transactions. So much so that we may have to be running everything on parallel chains. If you have a whole country running on a particular blockchain, that's crazy. Think about all the transactions. It's crazy. So that's addressing the point for people that are just not concerned about anyone else. But at the end of the day, it also plays into the role. It also lets me know what IOHK is doing, and this is the way to interact with developing nations. This is the way to bring them on. This is the way to make financial inclusion possible. It's through methods like this, and you have to put the groundwork in order to get where you need to get. It's a slow process sometimes. It's convoluted, but like Charles was saying, like John was saying, you know, you have to lay the inroads, and eventually you start getting that tap on the shoulder. Did you see how happy Charles was that they're pretty much getting a lot of work, potential work thrown at them, and they may not even be able to handle all of that work? That's wonderful. That is wonderful. And we're replicating this in every single country. We're going to try to get to every single country in Africa. And we're going to go to Southeast Asia. We're going to go to it's going to be worldwide. We need to just get the ball rolling. There are so many different projects, and there's so many different applications that you can use blockchain for that can make life a lot easier, whether that be identity registry, whether that be agritech, the agritech industry. There are so many different options, and I think it's very interesting to see how committed IOHK is, and I think that this is going to work out. This is going to work out, and I just imagine a future where entire countries are running entire industries on the blockchain, and there's no middleman. It's not like they have to call IOHK customer service. Oh, you know, the server's down. I can't access this. I can't access that. No, this is the blockchain. This is decentralized. It's running. It's going to be running for decades. It's not going to be shut down by anything. As long as people are running their staking nodes and their staking pools, it's going to be running. So there's going to be no excuse for failure. And these transactions are going to be so micro, so quick, and the fees are going to be they're going to be equitable for everyone. So even if you're a poor farmer living in a developing country, you can still afford to pay your electricity and pay your water and pay this and pay that without double paying everything, without losing all your money in middleman fees, without having to contract someone to run your check over to another place. Let's take it back to my Mississippi example. You know, like, there are people that I live with in my area that, you know, they work all day. They can't get to City Hall. They can't get to City Hall to drop off their check. So what happens? What happens, you know? What happens? You know, it's, oh, I'm going to give you this check and you run it down to City Hall for me. We as a community have to look at the broader solutions that IOHK is looking to solve. And I think that it's time that people start looking at the grand picture of what everything looks like. And things seem to be working with extreme synergy. So just a quick rant. Once again, watch episode 24 of the Cardano Effect podcast. Please leave any comments below. I'd like to engage in dialogue. And until the next video. All right.